What is the dumbest thing somebody has made fun of you for? The last day of school, in the 10th grade, we were playing Trivial Pursuit. The question was, what two countries does the Bering Strait separate? This was in 1988, and I answered the United States and the Soviet Union. The teacher laughed at me and said that was ridiculous. I held firm, staring directly at the student holding the card, ignored my teammates and teacher who were throwing out wild guesses and making fun of me, and said my answer again. The girl holding the card told everyone I was right, and even then they didn't believe it and demanded to be shown the card. It was ridiculous. In middle school, a girl gave me a rope and one of those blue metal chairs, told me to go hang myself in the middle of the hallway coming out of the cafeteria. I was bullied a lot in school for being short, skinny and gay jokes, although I'm not gay. Whatever. I broke her nose for it and called her a bitch. Another kid didn't like that and ran at me, so I instinctually stabbed him with my pencil and got expelled. Frankly, she deserved that. Not a single day has gone by that I regret that decision. I don't care. Fuck that little bitch, I hope her nose is still crooked. In middle school, I got into an argument with a girl about something stupid. During the argument, she said, "Yeah, well, you wore those pants yesterday." I said, "Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?" And she gasped, "And what you did?" They were still clean and I had no problem wearing the same pair of pants a few times before washing, so I don't know why that was supposed to be an insult. But even more baffling was that she apparently said it without even realizing that it was true, so I guess that was just her default insult for some reason. In college, I wrote a paper about how my parents met and got married. Met in a bar, eloped 6 months later. A super religious lady in my class got offended and complained to the teacher that I was promoting non-Christian values and sinning. I defended myself by saying I was promoting love, that's all, and it comes in different shapes and sizes, time frames, etc. A teacher stood up for me, told her college might not be her thing if she gets so easily offended. My parents will celebrate their 42nd wedding anniversary in less than 2 weeks. I used to work at a daycare, and every time I mention that I work with kids, at least one person laughs and says, "You worked with kids?" You would be the last person I'd call to babysit. On the outside, I don't like small children because they are loud, but I'm actually a really good caretaker. Every time my friends are approached by a small child, they freeze and are very bad at interacting with them. I, on the other hand, am really good at holding some sort of conversation with a kid and tell all my friends they're horrible with children. I had a lipoma on my forehead. I'd had it since I was 2 days old, and it would turn purple when I got made up until I was 13. Kids would call me Unicorn and had made up a song about me. Funny thing is that I graduated high school a year early. My old classmates had thought I died and all felt guilty. Until I ran into one of the worst bullies 6 months after school had started back up. I left the state and haven't talked to or sought out any of those pricks. It's now been 20 years and I have no desire to see any of them. I worked construction the first few summers in college. The dudes on that crew occasionally made fun of me for wanting to get an education. One of them was dumb as a box of rocks. That was over 20 years ago. I make more money now as an engineer than they'll ever see. Not that money is everything, but if I could choose happy money or happy no money, I choose the former. Also, there were some genuinely nice guys on that crew who were really good at their jobs. I'm not trying to stereotype blue-collar workers. It was in school, kids are cruel. The fact that I lived with my grandma because my parents left, and they all made fun of me for years because nobody wanted me, and then there's a couple years later, I had eczema really bad and I was tormented for it for years. To the point that I would wear a sweater and pants regardless of how hot it was, and sweat made it worse, but I wasn't interested in people seeing my skin. Still to this day I have eczema, but now I'm an adult, people don't say shit about it. In high school once, I asked for 5 fish fingers for lunch, and these bitchy girls in the queue behind me started making fun of me. Did you hear how many fish fingers she asked for? And as the dinner lady put them on my plate, they counted them out: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After lunch, when I walked into class, they started gossiping about me. You should have seen how many fish fingers she ate at lunch. Just found it weird, tbh. I don't think 5 fish fingers is that excessive for a 14-year-old. I forgot to put my name on my math homework in middle school once, and it had a fun little section that asked, "What are you doing this weekend?" I wrote it going shopping with my Nana. When the teacher was handing back the work, she asked who had put in shopping with their Nana in the section. The whole class bursted out laughing. I went up, got my paper, and was confused as hell as to why they were laughing. Still am. My nana is fucking awesome and stylish as hell. When I was a kid teenage I'd get made fun of because I had disproportionately large muscular calves. I'm sure on a 10-year-old it did kind of look funny, and kids don't even know what muscles look good at that age. I was very insecure about it. But once I got to high school age and up, I still have very large muscular calves without even trying, and other dudes get super jealous. The funny thing is I'm still pretty insecure about my calves because of that. With friends like mine. Using an umbrella, the fuck, dude? Using body wash instead of soap, yo. This shit better be your daughter's. Ordering a croissant, oh, wow. Call it bread like everyone else. Ordering a mushroom burger, you transitioning, bud. Ordering a pink lemonade, bring him a good chill. Wearing a Pink Floyd Sae shirt, rainbows. Yup. Tracks. Wearing a fancy t-shirt, do they make that in men's sizes? This chick that I met when I first moved to Colorado was a few years younger than me, told me I was really skinny. Street the time I wasn't really lifting weights, and she told me I had really tiny legs. Well, one day she saw my DK when she walked in on me and she made the comment like, "Wow, I didn't realize your dick was big because you had flamingo legs, Lamau." I cracked up for sure. I don't know if it makes me more or less self-conscious. My handwriting. I was always praised for my cursive growing up, so I often wrote in cursive. I met a boy in 5th grade, I believe, who was quite similar to me. We got along okay, but one day we had a fight. I'd quit what it was about, but I realized pretty quickly that it was stupid and stopped. He never did. He wrote in cursive often as well as I said, quite similar, and began making fun of me for mine. It escalated quickly, lol. My thumbnails are 2 different sizes. I was in college and a girl in my dorm was painting nails, and doing press one. So I grabbed a pack and went down because I can't do them myself, I always get glue everywhere. She sized one hand, and when she went to the other noticed that my other thumb would need a size larger. Every time I saw her after that it was some comment about my thumbnails being different sizes, rolling eyes face. Once I did an English presentation about me, I'm not native, about my hobbies, and I didn't have any hobbies. I was super nervous and I talked with a super giant accent, so bad, I used my PowerPoint skills to compensate. They called me for the whole year English. Worst of all, I almost was killed by laughter. My bully's presentation in his group was too bad. I had better grade than them. I remember when I started lifting weights. Did it all off my own back and didn't say anything to anyone. 2 weeks in and someone from work had seen me in the gym and asked me in the works car, "Park training tonight?" A coworker overheard and started taking the piss. "Yeah, looking fucking swole, bro. I'm now 16 stone and can bench 155 kilograms. Swollen as fuck mush. You gotta start somewhere." I was just thinking about this the other day when I was making my kids lunch. Back when I was little, my mom would cut my sandwiches in half and some kids made fun of me for it. They said I was poor and the reason my mom cut my sandwich in half was so I could take half home for dinner. Shit doesn't even make sense, but kids are effing stupid and will make fun of each other for anything. I was homeschooled up until high school, and one day during freshman year some kids at lunch asked me if you really liked a girl would you eat her out? I had no clue what eat her out meant, so I said yeah, I'd definitely take her out to dinner. They laughed their asses off at me and I think the girls thought it was cute that I didn't know, but the guys thought I was a loser, lol. In college, choosing to live in a more academic dorm. A lot of kids in the party dorm made fun of people in my dorm for that. Of course, half the people in that dorm don't even complete freshman year. I guess I'm a weirdo for thinking there is a point to college other than house parties. Worth noting too that half the people in the academic dorm were still complete morons. I was kind of cocky in high school. I was at a party and this guy was playing guitar poorly. I said something about it, so I guess I'm the dick in this situation. But I said, "Dude, I can play better than you with a beer in my hand." He laughed at me and said no way. I proceeded to use the bottle as a slide and played so decent blues. Definitely better than crap he was so proud of. In 5th grade I had a Polish kid call me a Hawaiian prostitute when my team beat his in kickball at recess. We got back to the classroom and I took my thick, brick-ass school textbook and smashed it across his head. I got in trouble and was told, "It's see Ozzy likes you." I said if he liked me he'd know I'm not Hawaiian. I'm German and Irish. Lamau kids, huh? X1 said I even showered methodically. When I asked what this meant they said I always do it the same way, etc. I'm not really sure to this day what the issue was. Kinda seems normal for people to have a routine for stuff like that. Kicker was though I never did it the same way anyway. So just got attacked for showering cause it's all they could think of. The dumbest thing is when some drunk who was shorter than me tried to make fun of my height. I'm only 6 foot, but he seemed to think asking how's the weather up there was hilarious. Right up until I took a sip of beer, sprayed him with it and said, "Looks like rain." He must have been really drunk because he just laughed his ass off and bought around. I drive a Charger and some punk in an Explorer kept speeding up and slowing down so I couldn't change lanes. I finally gunned it, got in front of him, and brake checked him. He goes into the other lane going, "WTF man, why you cutting me off?" I told him because he was cutting me off. He responds, "Yeah, I bet you drive an automatic," then drives off. Lol. I loved cheese sandwiches in school, so that's what I had for lunch every day. I grew up in a 4-bedroom 2-bath century home on 5 acres, and the kid who lived in a trailer park made fun of me for being poor, eating government cheese sandwiches, and wearing second-hand shoes. Those were brand new 1992 Nike hikers, and I like cheese sandwiches. Jethro. When I was in elementary school, I went to Disneyland with my best friend and our moms. We went to the toilet together, I hit the stall. That was so fast. Did you make some small little nerdy poop? I didn't have to poop, but I insisted I did. I don't get it, but it made me even more self-conscious about using bathrooms around other people. Being adopted. Like damn, I guess it really sucks that my extremely amazing, loving parents spent tons of time and money to go through the grind of a process it takes to adopt, then fly down to Brazil where I was to adopt me from an absolutely shitty situation and give me the extremely wonderful life I've had full of love and happiness.